As Coronation Street's Kit divides viewers. Is he cleaning soap's subsequent massive villain? It's honest to mention that Kid Green has been a complicated addition to Coronation Street. Previously recognized for his position as kindly everyman Damon Kinsella in Hollyoaks. Actor Jacob Roberts has made his mark together along with his compelling performances because the a lot extra reserved. Calculating Kit. But simply over 12 months after his first appearance. We are no towards information precisely which route Kit goes in as a long-time period character. As the long-misplaced son of Bernie Winter. Kit's beyond with killer Mick Michaelis and the latter's spouse Lou became explored in a flashback episode. Revealing Kit's position in a terrible firework assault which left a female significantly injured. However, despite the fact that we noticed a younger Kit threatened Mick with the intention to defend himself from any consequences, I'm nonetheless reluctant to label Kit as an out-and-out villain. A remorseful Kit skilled as a police officer and, someplace alongside the manor, he have become a corrupt cop. We've visible Kit cowl up his very own act of crook harm and risk Beth Sutherland into leaving Weatherfield after taking up her dodgy facet hustle. Yet, some other incident noticed Kit plant proof with inside the car of sexual predator Nathan Curtis. Sending the evil guy again to jail wherein he belonged. Kit extensively utilized his role to make lifestyles less complicated for past due brother Paul Foreman and sister Gemma Winter Brown. There appears to be a consistent tug of conflict among the Satan on Kit's shoulder and his conscience. That means that he is now no longer pretty a villain. However, additionally now no longer a salt of the earth suitable guy. So, wherein does that depart him? Well, many earlier than Kit have transitioned from miscreant to famous anti-hero. If Corrie chooses now no longer to double down on his darkish facet and as a substitute delves similarly into Kit's psyche. Possibly he will observe with inside the footsteps of the multi-layered Tracy Barlow, Todd Grimshaw and Gary Windass. They have all dabbled in manipulation, homicide or both, however in the end gained over the audience. Confirmation that new Cobble's everyday Brody, the boy that Mick raised as his very own, became genuinely fathered with the aid of using Kit. Pointers that Coronation Street is devoted to cementing Kit as a key fixture. After surviving being stabbed with the aid of using Mick, Kit rejected Brody however made amends with interfering however well that means Bernie in a second of authentic warmth. When we see Kit round Bernie and Gemma, his susceptible facet comes out. Kit's blossoming romance with Sarah Platt has softened him, too, and with imprisoned Mick having reduced Brody off for suitable. This modification in manner paves the manner for Kit to get to understand his son. Kit has abandonment problems way to Bernie giving him up as a child. And this can be why he cannot face parenthood. But, with the display making a moderate use of its police station set, will Kit get the threat to stand those demons as very well as he deserves? After all, it is on every occasion he is in paintings mode that Kit's ruthless facet resurfaces. While his ambiguity affords consistent intrigue, we are an increasing number of curious as to whether or not he will lean similarly into his nasty streak or pay attention to his ethical compass. And the way that would affect his future. It may appear less complicated for Kit to be billed as a full-time, terrible boy. All it might take is one outrageous act that crosses the road from scheming to sinister. And an resulting sample that stops him from ever turning again. As with Stephen Reed and Richard Hillman. Still, Kit genuinely has an extended shelf lifestyles than that. And Jacob has the skills and staying strength to show matters round for his regulate ego and display that there are motives for his underhand behavior. A robust route to redemption has created a number of cleaning soapland's best cherished anti-heroes. From Emmerdale's Robert Sugden to Hollyoaks' Sienna Blake. That adventure would not make sure a wholly reformed character. Simply person who has earned empathy, likability and, at times, adoration with inside the eyes of the viewer, something Kit ought to produce if given the capacity. Slowly however genuinely, Kit's armor is cracking. Only time will inform whether or not that is sufficient to maintain his fiendish facet at bay. Or if he becomes Coronation Street's subsequent massive villain. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye and see you again.